Peter Obi has always attended all the court sessions since the tribunal started looking into the petition he filed against Inec, Tinubu and the APC. As you can see, today's own is not looking different. You can sight him sitting down and wearing a smile as always. The Labour Party lawyers have made huge progress at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, and that of yesterday was not different as they continue tendering more evidence that will likely harm Tinubu and Inec. The presentation for the court hearing for yesterday, SAN Levy represented the Labour Party, SAN Pinheiro represented Inec, SAN Anipekun represented Tinubu and Shettima, while SAN Fagbemi represented the APC. This was how the proceeding went. The judges were all seen seated, and one of them, Justice Bolaji, greeted everyone in the courtroom saying, "Good afternoon to the bar and everyone present in court. You are all welcome to the afternoon session of the court." Peter Obi is now up on his feet and he said, "Respectfully, my lord, I am Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, representing the petitioners." And the lead counsel for the Labour Party, SAN Levy Uzoku, stood up and said, "My lord, we will continue today with the tendering of 11 local government from EC8Bs from Ebonyi State." And while he was still on this, he was smart to notice that they had 12 packages instead of 11. So the Labour Party council quickly called the attention of the presiding judge, Justice Samani, and requested for an adjustment. Putting it in his word, he said, "My lord, we would tender 12 local government for Ebonyi State." At this point, the impatient Inec council did not even let him finish as he interjected and said, "My lord, we are objecting to the admissibility of the documents and will give our reasons in a full address." Counsel to Tinubu and Shettima added, "My lord, we oppose the document rendered by the petitioner and will state our reasons in the final address." And the APC council followed suit, and he said, "With due respect, my lord, we object to this document. We will give our reasons to the objection in a final address." So finally, the councils to Inec, to the APC, to Tinubu and to Shettima, they all objected to the admissibility of this document. While the presiding judge said, "These 12 bundles of Form EC8Bs of Ebonyi State marked as EA1 to EA12 are hereby admitted as evidence." Wow, that's good. So suddenly the justices were seen whispering to one another. The presiding judge said, "Learned counsels, please give us 2 minutes to go and write something." The whole court responded, "As the court wishes, my lord." And in no long time they were back. All right, the justices are back, and it was time to crack a little joke. SAN Anipekun said, "My lord, I introduced my colleague as a chief." And one of the justices, Justice Ugu, reacted, "Is he a chief or a prof?" SAN Anipekun said, "It's like a malam that is in a higher position." These people. And the presiding judge jokingly added, "I don't believe malam is higher than sheikh. Malam is a half and sheikh is from the source." So at this moment, the Labour Party council wanted the business of the day to be taken serious, as he asked the presiding judge, "My lord, please, may I move on? We have 4 local governments of Kaduna for Form EC8Bs to tender." And the presiding judge said, "EC8Cs or EC8Bs?" The Labour Party council replied, "EC8Bs, my lord." And the presiding judge said, "Go on." So the Labour Party council tendered the 4 local governments of Kaduna from EC8Bs. And when he was done, the councils to Inec, APC, Tinubu and Shettima, just as usual, all objected to this document and would issue their reasons in a final address. So at this moment, the presiding judge asked the Labour Party council, "You tendered Kaduna North and South yesterday, so why mention them again?" The Labour Party council said, "My lord, we are giving supplementary document just in case the words are not complete." The presiding judge replied, "We have already marked those places tendered. You want to scatter our schedule?" The Labour Party Council nicely replied, "My lord, we just want to add them, sir, in case it's not complete." Another justice, Justice Ada, said to the Labour Party Council, "So since we have them already, how are we going to document this again?" And the Labour Party Council humbly replied, "My lord, as the masters of this, sir, we plead to add them as additional or supplementary documents." That was a nice move. Now you could see the justices talking with one another and flipping documents. Justice Ugo is looking through some files while Justice Ada, Justice Samani and Justice Bello are talking seriously. Justice Samani and Justice Bolaji are seen gesticulating while talking with smiles on their faces. But the presiding judge was still not convinced if he should admit them or not. So the presiding judge said, "You want to disrupt the schedules and notes we have." The Labour Party Council replied, "My lord, it's not our fault. We just received these documents from Inec and we seek to tender it. It's not as if we had them and we did not tender them. Inec just provided them 2 days ago, my lord." So at this point, the justices were seen flipping pages upon pages. Justice Bolaji, the only female judge on the case, just passed a document to the presiding judge while pointing at something. Justice Bello and Justice Ada are currently flipping pages upon pages to the hearing of the court. Finally, the Labour Party Council won as the presiding judge admitted this extra document, and in his words, he said, "The 4 local government from EC8Bs of Kaduna State tendered are now admitted to the court as evidence and tagged as exhibits." So guys, this was a smart move by the Labour Party Council. Honestly, this man did a good job because the justices did not see reasons why they should admit these extra documents, but he went on to prove his case that INEC brought these things late. Please just admit them. Keep them in case we need them for future use so we can make reference to them. Thank God the justices saw with him and they admitted this document. So it was a big win for the Labour Party. It was really a big. Honestly, the opposition parties would not be happy when they saw all this going on. The Labour Party lawyers have huge smiles on their faces. Who will not smile? Wow, wow, wow. This was a big win for Labour Party. INEC wanted to use delay tactics, but the Labour Party Council was very smart. I mean, the INEC chairman must be crying wherever he is because of all these things that happened yesterday at the election tribunal. Honestly, this lawyer for the Labour Party deserves a glass of, cool water. So at this point, the Labour Party Council reacted to the presiding judge decision. And he said, "Thank you, my lord." And he said, "My lord, may I move to tender 4 local government from EC8Bs of Oyo State?" The judges all had a wired look on their faces. The way the presiding judge looked at the Labour Party Council, the presiding judge said, "The same Oyo State that was done yesterday?" And the Labour Party Council replied, "It's not my fault, my lord." The presiding judge said, "Go ahead." Wow, 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 wow. Another big win for the Labour Party. This is another extra document that INEC issued very late to the Peter Obi's lawyer. So you can see that the presiding judge is admitting all of them. This is a big win for the Labour Party. So the Labour Party Council has now tendered 4 additional local governments of Oyo State from EC8Bs. All the respondents, including INEC, objected to the admissibility of this from AC8Bs being tendered by the Labour Party, and they all stated that they will give their response in the final address. So the presiding judge said, "From EC8Bs of 4 local government in Oyo State tendered as evidence and tagged as exhibits." As they pain them, e go dey sweet us. Yes, we are winning. So at this point, the Labour Party Council, with a cheeky smiley face, said, "My lord, 1 local government for Nasarawa is left and it's on page 60 of the 4th schedule for the local government called Kiana." The presiding judge said, "When was Nasarawa tendered?" The Labour Party Council said, on Monday, my lord, after flipping through some pages, the presiding judge said Nasarawa was not tendered. And the Labour Party Council replied, it was, my lord. It's just one local government left. The secretary was seen helping the judges to confirm that Nasarawa has been tendered. So the Labour Party Council said, we have tendered Nasarawa, my lord. And the presiding judge now confirmed, and he said, okay, I've seen it, go ahead. So the Labour Party Council said, thank you, my lord. And as usual, all the respondents, including Inec, objected to the admissibility of this document of the Nasarawa State Local Government Form EC8Bs. And the presiding judge said the document of Form EC8Bs for Nasarawa State are now tendered and admitted. And suddenly, the angry APC lawyer interrupted. And he said, my lord, you didn't take down my objection. I was waiting for you to finish writing before I speak. Justice Ugo replied him, there is no problem. We recorded the usual thing for you. Everyone started laughing. So guys, you could see that the APC and Inec lawyer, they've so much belittled themselves, even in the court, as in people were laughing at them, because he was now like fighting the judges that you people didn't allow me to object. I've not stated my own objection. So the lawyer said, we know it's your usual manner that you must object any presentation by the Labour Party. So automatically we have written it down. You don't even need to say it before we know you will object. So you can see how they are even ridiculing themselves. So the judges will not even need to wait for them to object anymore, for them to write it or document it that they are objecting. So the lawyers for Inec, Tinubu, Shetima, APC, they are known for objection. That is what the judges are saying, that you don't need to tell us. We know it is your usual ritual. So we have already done it before you even complained. So guys, let's move on from there. The presiding judge even disgraced the APC lawyer further when he said, there is no need. We have recorded. We know what you want to say. So at this point, the presiding judge even disgraced the APC lawyer further when he said, we have recorded. We know what you want to say. It's your usual statement. So we know you will say, I object. You don't need to repeat it. That's just what they were saying. And the presiding judge finally concluded on this. And he said, the document for Form EC8Bs are now tendered and admitted to the court. And the Labour Party Council called the attention of the presiding judge about what the APC lawyer was saying. He said, my lord, you heard what he said, that he did not give his objection. And the presiding judge said, it's okay, we heard him, let's go on. So the presiding judge was just saying, just ignore him, we already know what he wants to say. These people are just making fun of themselves, So the Labour Party Council continued and said, my lord, we have 8 local governments of Bayelsa State from EC8Cs. And all the respondents, Inec, Tinubu, Shetima, and APC lawyers, objected to the tendering of these documents as evidence before the court and stated they will give their reasons in a final address. So the presiding judge said document from EC8Cs of 8 local government for Bayelsa State are now tendered and tagged as exhibits. And the Labour Party Council continued, we now wish to tender, my lord, 23 local government from EC8Cs of Benue State on page 78 of the 4th schedule. And the presiding judge affirmed all respondents have now objected to these documents tendered, while the presiding judge documented them as evidence before the court. And the Labour Party Council requested from the presiding judge, my lord, can I quickly tender 18 local governments in Cross River State on page 80 of the 4th schedule? And the presiding judge said, let's go on. And all the respondents, as usual, objected to the documents presented by the Labour Party and Peter Obi's lawyers. And the presiding judge has now admitted the Form EC8Cs as evidence and as Exhibit P81 to P8018. So guys, this was how these documents were presented. The summary of this is that we had a very huge progress in the court. I mean, the legal team to Peter Obi and the Labour Party, they did a good job. They were able to finish presenting all the Form EC8Bs from different states, and they started with those for Form EC8Cs. And apart from that, they were able to convince the judges to accept those documents that INEC provided to them very late. And the judges saw reasons to admit those documents. So those documents were admitted, and they were also documented. And I think this is a big win for Peter Obi. We are looking forward to concluding on the presentation of these documents this week, so that by next week we will focus on calling of witnesses. And I tell you, things are really progressing well for Peter Obi. I think his legal team, they are doing a good job. And I know you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.